So, I have been using the Pixel 4 XL for over a month now, and let's see how it stacks up in 2021. Right, just before we get kicked off, guys, I want you to do me a big favour. Smash that like button for me. Really helps me out the channel. And if you haven't already, you know you want to, hit that button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell if you want to be notified when new content drops on the channel. You know what to do. Let's get into it. Pixel 4 XL. Been using this solid now for over a month, and I just want to sort of give you my experiences and sort of let's see if it is still up to the task in 2021 compared to a lot of the other flagship phones. So first off, I think you'll agree with me, you'd be hard pushed to find a nicer looking phone than this. The Pixel 4 XL is it's just so fresh and so clean. I love it. I really do love it. It's got that matte glass finish on the back, which, as you can see, it holds up pretty well against fingerprints, and with the black frame as well. It's just a great combination. The orange buttons are a nice touch. It's just a great looking phone. I really love it. I really do. Yeah, I did buy a case for it simply because I just didn't want to risk destroying the back of it because it's glass. So I know I said in my first video for the Pixel that I was going to rock it naked, but no, I haven't got the guts. I just don't. It's not me. I'm not about that life. From the front of the phone, I mean, the front of the phone looks great, and then you see that forehead. I don't know why I touched my forehead, but until you see that forehead, now at first you are aware of the forehead, and it sort of does make you look at it and go, I'm losing out quite a bit of display there. But I'll be honest, see, once you get using it, it doesn't really bother me, especially with being an iPhone user. I'm used to having a notch anyway, you know, so just having no notch is actually it's okay for me personally. If you are using any of those flagship phones today, you'll be used to a hole punch or a notch, so yeah, it's okay. You get used to it pretty quick. Let's do a quick spec overview. It's a 6.3 inch display. It is a POLED panel, 90Hz refresh rate. It's quick, it's snappy, and you know, for me, coming from an iPhone, still using 60Hz, it's a refreshing change for me. It's quick, it's snappy, and I really like it. It's got the Snapdragon 855 CPU. By no means it's not a slouch. It's quick, it's responsive, it does exactly what you need it to do. 6GB of RAM. Compared to some of the phones now, on paper it may look low, but the way the Pixel manages the RAM, I have not had any issues with any apps, you know, crashing or needing to be reloaded or anything like that. I mean, there's apps I could leave open, go back to them, and they're just working, you know, so kudos to that. It works very well. We have up to 15W wireless charging and 18W fast charging as well. Still holds up with some of the big flagships, so that's good. It's got a 3700 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty decent for this phone. It's quite a slim phone, it's not thick, and it holds quite well in the hand, so yeah, the battery's pretty decent in this. IP68 dust and water resistant as well. Pretty sort of standard stuff in this day and age. It's pretty good, still holds up. Historic issues when the Pixel was first released, it would have been, if you had lowered the brightness, it would have lowered the refresh rate down to 60Hz. That's long been resolved now. In Android 11 I had no issues with that, and I'm running the Android 12 beta, and it's been 100%, it's been perfect. So no issues there really, stemming from when it was first released. The performance, I found the performance held its own quite well, even compared to the likes of the S21 Ultra, which is no slouch. You know, so for a 2-year-old phone, I'm pretty impressed with that. Cameras. On the back, there is the 12 megapixel wide lens, there is the 16 megapixel telephoto lens. There's no ultra wide, unfortunately. When it was announced, Mark Levi on stage controversially said that telephoto was better than ultra wide. So yeah, is what it is. On the front as well, the front selfie camera offers quite a wide image as well, which is pretty decent, and no complaints there. It's pretty much on par with all the other cameras out there. Portrait mode on this, both front and back cameras, holds its own with any of the big flagships. You can maybe argue some of the portraits are better than some of the current flagships at the minute. What I'll do is I'll include some images from the Pixel, let you have a look, see what you think. So, this is the front-facing camera of the Pixel 4 XL. Let me know what the quality's like, let me know what the audio's like. So, this is the rear camera of the Pixel 4 XL, 4K at 30 frames per second. So, what's the video like? Let me know down below. And let me know what the audio's like. Sorry, I was just bringing the recycling boxes in. So yeah, let me know down below. Battery life, 3700 milliamp hour battery. I didn't have really any issues with it whatsoever. I'd get a full day use out of it, no problem at all. And you know, it's just pretty much everyday normal use for me. So let's get into some of the Pixel features. And these are features that are exclusive to the Pixel itself. So Motion Sense uses the sensors in the front of the phone. It also works with the face unlock, but there is also other features like you know, it would detect your hand when you go to pick the phone up, things like that there. Those features I really like, simply because when you reach to pick up the phone, it detects your hand and then it kicks in the sensors. So by the time you picked up the phone and looked at it, it's already scanned your face, and it makes the face unlock appear really quick. And that's awesome. I really like that feature. The other motion sense features, such as the play, pause, skip songs, not so much. After about 15 minutes, I had to turn it off. It annoyed me. It just really annoyed me. So I didn't really dig that, if I'm being honest. One of the other features that I really love is the Google Assistant, not to mention the squeeze. So squeeze and hold the phone, Google Assistant kicks in at the bottom. It's so awesome. It's so good. And there it's doing stuff. It's listening to me. But yeah, it's so good. I really like that. And I hope it's something that they keep moving on into the Pixel 6. Fingers crossed. One of the handiest features that I love is the flip to do not disturb. Flip your phone over, face down, do not disturb kicks in. Great. Absolutely love it. If you're sitting like myself in a working day and you need to sort of zone out and not be disturbed, just turn your phone upside down, set it down. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely love it. Let's get into some pros and cons. So we'll start with the pros. The design, I still maintain this is still one of the best looking phones you can buy now. It's a 2-year-old phone and it still looks awesome. It's compared to some of the other flagship phones out there, it's so good. It's such a clean, sleek design and I absolutely love it. Do you love it? Let me know in the comments down below. It's so pretty. 90Hz display, you know, for a phone that is coming up in 2 years old, 90Hz refresh is so good on this. And again, for myself being primarily an iPhone user, coming from 60Hz to 90Hz display, it was so refreshing, and yeah, it's a great display, you know, and it still holds up to nearly 2 years later. So that's a real good thing. Battery, 3700 milliamp hour battery. It's a really good size of battery for this size of phone. Again, insert joke here. I like big phones. I cannot lie. I'm so sorry. The Pixel 4 XL will be supported for the next 2 major builds of Android. So currently we're running Android, when I got this phone it was running Android 11. I'm currently running the Android 12 beta on this at the moment, and then you will be able to get Android 13 as well when it eventually drops. So you have a good shelf life with this phone. You have the ability then to, you know, stick with the latest versions of Android, and that's awesome. RAM management on this phone is absolutely brilliant. As I mentioned before, I never have any issues with apps crashing or apps needing to be reloaded after them being open. So the way the Pixel deals with this is great. A lot of other Android phones could learn from this big time. And for me, this is the best this is the best Android experience you will get on a smartphone. If you aren't using a Pixel, or if you've never used a Pixel, if you've used other Android phones like Samsung or OnePlus or Huawei or any of those other Android phones, pick up a Pixel and give it a go. It's clean, it's clutter free. I think you'll like it. And the final pro is the cameras. Cameras on this phone are so good. And it's not even just the hardware of the camera, but it's the way the camera software in the phone renders and deals with those photographs. It's up there with the big flagships. It really is. So with the pros come the cons, and there is a few cons. The forehead, I mean, looking at it, yeah, I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity to go full display on this. However, I am very much a function over form kind of guy. So would I trade a full-size display for the motion sensor in this phone? Probably not. It's definitely up there with the likes of the iPhone. I mean, iPhone's Face ID is definitely one of the best facial recognition options out there, and this is definitely up there with that. So would I trade that for a full display? Probably not, but aesthetically, yeah, it's sometimes maybe nice to have that full display. There is no expandable storage on the Pixel, on the Pixel 4 XL. There's no SD slots. What you get is what you get in the phone. And the storage options on the phone are 64 gig and 128 gig. So you don't have a massive amount of options. So if you are going to pick one up, make sure you buy the right amount of storage, because you may regret it. My last con from my usage, the lack of a fingerprint reader. Now, as good as the motion sense is on this phone, in today's current climate, with what's going on in the world, people wearing masks, you do miss a fingerprint reader on this phone. Albeit if it's in the back or in the button or in the display itself, a fingerprint reader would have been useful. Now, granted, how can you predict what's going to happen in the world? But that is a noticeable thing that is missing, that is present on a lot of other flagship phones. So it's something to consider if you're thinking about picking one up. Just to recap and overview, is the Pixel 4 XL worth it in 2021? My answer, hell yeah, of course it is. Simply because it's got flagship specs, which even nearly 2 years later still can keep the pace. It will support the next two major builds of Android, so it's going to be around for a while. It's got 90 Hz refresh rate display. It's got a 3700 milliamp hour battery, which is great. It's got wireless charging. It's got IP68 dust and water resistance. It's got all those things, all those tick boxes that you look for in a flagship. The one big thing that I find with this is the price. This, hands down, has to be one of the bargains of 2021. If you're looking for this size of a phone, I picked this up on Amazon Renewed, and if you haven't checked it out already, I did a previous video on it. You'll find that right here. But I picked this up on Amazon Renewed, and I paid £280 for this phone. Albeit it's the 64 gig version, and a lot of my stuff is mostly sort of cloud hosted and stuff anyway, so that storage wasn't a massive thing for me. For £280, this is a hell of a lot of phone for the money. And if you were to compare that price against some of the other flagships, could you buy a Android flagship for that money? I don't think so. This is a real bargain, a real bargain. And yeah, if you're looking for the cleanest, best Android experience, pick up a Pixel. Preferably a Pixel 4 XL. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be hard pushed to find a better phone for the money. So, yeah, get on it. Why have you not done it? Do it now. Right now. That just about wraps it up for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. I just wanted to I have been using this phone for over a month now, and I wanted to give it a thorough testing and then report back for you guys just what I found and how I think it holds up in 2021, and it definitely does. So yeah, and keep it locked to the channel, guys, because we've got some really cool unboxings coming these next few weeks, so it's going to be a busy time. So keep it locked to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.